Okay, Gary and Tony, welcome back to Dublin. Of course,
Thank
you're
you.
no strangers to this place. Of course, you lived here in the mid '80s, isn't that true?
Yeah, we lived here
We
in
did.
'85. We just come off of a world tour, and we needed to settle down and write a new album and rehearse it. And where were we rehearsing, Tony? What was the theatre? In Dunleary.
Dunleary.
The old theatre in Dunleary.
An old cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived on Stillorgan Road with John the drummer in the Bishop's house next door to the church there, and that's where I wrote Through the Barricades.
Informed by what was going on up the road, I take it. Very difficult time.
Yeah, but I mean also a personal story really, which was one of the boys who worked on merchandise for us a few years before had been killed in the Troubles, and Jim, his brother, who played drums for Stiff Little Fingers, took me to see his grave up there, and I kind of it was quite something that inspired me to write that song.
Why do you think you chose Ireland to write that album in the mid '80s, Tony? It wasn't to do with tax or anything like that, was it?
It might have been a little bit to do with tax, but as Gary said, we'd been on a massive UK tour. We wanted somewhere to go that we would get some peace and quiet. Also, same language, same kind of currency and everything else. And we had a fantastic time. We made a lot of great friends. I think Through the Barricades is probably one of the best albums that we've ever made. We finally recorded it in Munich. But we've got really, really fond memories. I mean, Dublin in 1985 was totally different from the Dublin now. And we've just been mentioning the pink
Celtic Tiger.
We've just been mentioning the Pink Elephant with Robbie and all those days, and we had some fantastic.
Yeah, it was a great city for musicians. I mean, when we were here, Def Leppard were doing their Pyromania album. I ended up singing backing vocals on some of that record. And,
I didn't know that until today.
And Frankie Goes to Hollywood were here working, and then we'd hang out with Adam Clayton and
When Adam was a party animal.
Bunch of people, and
he used to be
very
as well.
inspiring musically. I came to know Donald Lunny quite well, worked with him. It's a really great city to get a musical vibe off and feel like a writer and feel like an artist while you're here. There's a great respect for artists. It's a heritage that you really nurture.
So you're back again. The Tories are still in power, and Spandau Ballet are back again.
Actually, they weren't in power when we played here last.
Oh, I know, but they're still in power now, though. That's why you're back. They were in power in 2009.
That's why we're back, 'cause the Tories are back.
I was just going to say that, Tony. Now, you were an ardent conservative. You were a supporter of the Tory party, and you were in Red Wedge in the 80s. Is this true?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Was there many political arguments in Spandau Ballet?
Well, we had to decide not to discuss politics within the band because obviously Gary's got his views, I've got mine, and stuff like that. And bands are very political anyway. And as everyone knows, we had a 19-year breakup, which wasn't about politics, but it was about other things and stuff. But we're just glad that we're brave enough and big enough to get ourselves back together
There was a
again.
general election during our last World Tour, and there's going to be one during our next World Tour. We need to get it together a bit sooner next time, I think. Yeah.
Did you watch Russell Brand and Nigel Farage on things?
No,
You didn't watch it, no?
No, I didn't.
My
I've
wife's
been away.
birthday, I was out.
Was it good? Was
It was fun. It was
I read
pantomime.
about it.
Pantomime, Tony.
Yeah,
Total
it's
pantomime.
TV. I love politics. I mean, the thing is, I care about my country. That's what it's about. It's not really. It's about who cares most about their country, and whatever party that is, that's the most important thing to me.
What about the movie Soul Boys of the Western World?
yeah.
I take it that was your title, was it?
No, that title came from. I thought it was a good idea for a title, but it was originally a headline in the NME when we had the front cover in the NME in 1981. Which is obviously a play on Sing, your own writer. There you go. There's another Irish writer. Play on Playboy of the Western World, and we thought it was a cool title because we are in the end we're this sort of like kids, working class kids from London. There was that
Soul
niche tribe called Soul Boys, and that was really who we were. And I think we did take on the world.
As well as being punks and new romantics.
I mean, I want to believe that the 80s was a seething cauldron of vicious rivalry and bitchery. Please tell me it was.
Yeah,
Well,
it was. Yeah, actually, it was. It was. I really was. I mean, I think people forget what it was like pre-Band-Aid. Everyone was bitter, and no one wanted to talk to each other.
Damn you, Geldof.
To put it in perspective, listen, you're rivals with your contemporaries in terms of chart position at all times. I mean, Spandau Ballet and Duran Duran never released a record at the same time. But when you get behind the scenes and the cameras are off, then we're in the bar and then we're all the same.
Yeah, you know, it's all in the film. You can see it in the film. There's quite a lot of funny stuff in the film between us and Duran. But the film is an archive-only movie, which essentially really is about friendship. You know, Mark Kermode is one of our country's great cinema reviewers, and he loves the film. He said, I don't even like Spandau Ballet, but I love this movie. And I think that it does it. I think anyone who's ever experienced, you know, breakup and remorse will kind of get what this film is about. And it's also, you know, it's an interesting document of the decade.
Yeah, well, not just of the 80s. I mean, if you look at it, it covers the 60s, 70s, glam rock, punk, you know, the 80s, the Berlin Wall coming down, South Africa. I mean, massive changes, and then brings us right up to date when we finally got back together in 2009 with the happy ending. And, you know, I always say Lassie the dog was, if it was a Disney film, Lassie the dog would have walked on stage at the Isle of Wight.
I think he's trying to tell us something. Yeah. So basically, you're back now, and I read a really good quote from John Lydon yesterday. He said the Pistols won't be reuniting because they're too fat now, but you guys look great. What is your secret?
Well, listen, we try. I mean, listen, you know, you want to keep up with what's going on musically. You know, me and Gary, out of all the band, have got young kids. We've got 5 young kids between us. That kind of keeps you on your toes. But
I agree with you about looking good. You know, I think
I
think, you know, your performers. You know, what turned me on to music in the first place was the way people looked, and you know, with Bowie and.
Well, you were Bowie kids.
Yeah, we were glam rock.
Bowie, Roxy,
glam rock
Queen,
turned our head.
John,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah. I have to ask you, the big controversy of the year, I suppose, for the music industry has been U2 and the way they put out their new album.
Yeah.
I think it was a stroke of genius. What do you think?
I think it was a stroke of genius. I just think they should have given people the option as to whether to connect or not connect. That would be my thing. But, I mean, music is changing. We don't sell albums in the same way as we used to. So you promote them in an entirely different way. So in one sense it was genius, but unfortunately it's annoyed quite a few people out there.
I mean, I think it undervalued what is actually a good album, which has some great songs on it. I think, you know, you've got to feel that you've worked to own something.
The Taylor Swift line.
Yeah, and no one really... You know, everyone throws junk mail away, you know, but it might be some good stuff in there.
Gentlemen, thanks for talking to us.
Thank
Fair
you
play.
very much.
Great.
Cheers. Thank you.
All right.